Rachel Zegler has generated significant controversy surrounding her role in the live-action remake of Disney's classic animated film, Snow White. Her remarks about the original 1937 movie, along with her stance on certain aspects of the story, have fueled debates and, in some cases, led to calls for boycotts of her projects. The discourse surrounding Zegler and the film has touched on issues of representation, feminism, and the preservation of classic storytelling. What initially began as discussions about casting soon escalated into a much larger debate about the film's direction, Zegler's personal opinions, and her suitability for the role. From the moment Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White, many fans of the original film voiced concerns. Some expressed worries about how the remake would handle the beloved classic, fearing that the modern adaptation would alter key elements that made the original film so special. Others, however, took issue with Zegler's casting itself. Snow White's defining characteristic in the animated film is her skin white as snow, a central aspect of the fairy tale. Some critics, including political commentator Ben Shapiro, argued that Zegler's casting did not align with the character's traditional depiction. Although Zegler identifies as a white Latina, her casting sparked heated discussions about race and accuracy in adaptations. Ben Shapiro and other commentators took issue with the decision, arguing that because the name Snow White directly references the character's appearance, an actress who more closely matched that description should have been chosen. Matt Walsh, another political commentator, went even further by accusing Disney of engaging in anti-white racism and cultural appropriation. While some of these critiques were rooted in concerns about fidelity to the source material, others devolved into more inflammatory rhetoric, making the debate even more contentious. Despite the backlash, Zegler's supporters stood by her, arguing that her talent and dedication to the role should be the primary considerations. Zegler herself eventually addressed the ongoing controversy, expressing gratitude for the people, defending her online. However, she made it clear that she did not want to be involved in the heated debates about her casting. She emphasized that every child should feel they can be a princess, attempting to steer the conversation toward a more inclusive and positive perspective. Alongside her statement, she shared childhood photos of herself dressed as a Disney princess, hoping to remind people of the magic that these stories bring to children's lives. As the initial controversy over her casting began to subside, Zegler's own comments about Snow White reignited public outrage. In a September 2022 interview with Variety, she discussed what audiences could expect from the live-action adaptation. She emphasized that the new version would be vastly different from the 1937 film, noting that the story had to evolve to remain relevant in today's world. Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen in the remake, supported this notion by stating that Snow White would not be saved by the prince in this version. Zegler took it a step further, explaining that the remake would completely move away from the love story at the heart of the original film. Instead of dreaming about finding true love, the new Snow White would be focused on becoming a leader, fulfilling the vision that her late father had for her. Her statement was met with mixed reactions, with some applauding the modernized take, and others criticizing it for departing too far from the original story. A viral TikTok video that garnered over 12 million views argued that critiquing traditional Disney princesses was not inherently feminist. The creator pointed out that not all women aspire to be leaders, and that having a love story does not make a character weak or outdated. The backlash to Zegler's remarks intensified, with many feeling that she was dismissing the value of the original film's message. Zegler did not stop there. In a December 2022 interview with Entertainment Weekly, she revealed that she had only watched the original Snow White once as a child and found it terrifying. She admitted that the movie left such a strong impression on her that she avoided engaging with it again until she was cast in the remake. She elaborated on her childhood fear, recalling how the Snow White's scary adventures ride at Disney World had deeply unsettled her. This revelation further fueled criticism, as many fans questioned why someone with such a negative view of the original film would agree to play its central character. Traditionally, actors involved in remakes express deep admiration for the original work and excitement about paying homage to its legacy. Zegler, however, made it clear that she was relieved the new version would take a different approach. She openly critiqued what she saw as plot gaps in the original, reinforcing the perception that she lacked appreciation for the film's history. This only alienated more fans, with many arguing that if she truly disliked Snow White, she should have declined the role. Further comments from Zegler only escalated the controversy. In an interview with Extra TV, she reiterated that the remake would not focus on romance, though she acknowledged that some viewers might still perceive certain relationships as having romantic undertones. However, it was her remarks about the prince that generated the most outrage. She joked that the prince in the original movie was essentially a stalker, dismissing his role in Snow White's story. She even suggested that he might not be included in the remake at all, reinforcing the idea that the film was taking drastic liberties with the classic tale. Fans who were already skeptical of the remake found these comments especially frustrating. The notion of eliminating the prince entirely or reinterpreting him as a problematic character struck many as unnecessary. To them, it felt like Zegler, and the filmmakers were more focused on distancing themselves from the original, rather than celebrating its legacy. One of the most notable voices against the remake was David Hand, the son of the director of the 1937 Snow White. In an interview with The Telegraph, he expressed strong opposition to the modernized version, stating that it completely disregarded the essence of the original film. He argued that his father would have been equally disappointed by the changes, describing them as unnecessary and driven by contemporary social agendas. His comments resonated with many fans who felt that Disney was betraying its own history by radically altering such an iconic story. As the backlash against Zegler continued, some fans began calling for a boycott of her future projects. This extended beyond Snow White, with some even targeting The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, in which she played Lucy Gray, Baird. Critics of the Snow White remake saw this as further evidence that Zegler could not be trusted with beloved franchises. Fans who were already protective of the Hunger Games series expressed concerns about her ability to do justice to the role, especially given how much they loved Jennifer Lawrence's portrayal of Katniss Everdeen. Interestingly, Zegler revealed that she initially turned down the role in the Hunger Games prequel. She explained that she was offered the part outright, without even needing to audition. However, she initially declined because she did not want to be away from her loved ones. Later, she changed her mind and reached out to her agent to reclaim the opportunity. While her honesty about the decision was refreshing to some, others saw it as further evidence of a lack of commitment to major roles. More recently, Zegler made headlines again for comments she made during the ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. In one statement, she argued that if she had to stand in a dress for 18 hours as an iconic Disney princess, she deserved to be compensated for every hour, that the film was streamed online. While her comments were meant to advocate for fair pay, they came across to some as entitled, particularly given reports that she had already been paid significantly more than some of her co-stars. At every turn, it seems that Zegler's statements have continued to hurt her public image. Many believe that her repeated criticisms of Snow White and her dismissive attitude toward its classic elements could jeopardize her career. While she is undeniably talented, her handling of controversy has led to growing concerns about her future in Hollywood. Whether she will be able to recover from these missteps remains to be seen, but for now, the debate surrounding her and Snow White continues to rage on.